It's Wednesday morning. We're midway through the week now. We have some great stories for you to enjoy today. Here's what's ahead.
Today, Justin tells us about the new milling industry announcement of a joint venture between Conagra, Cargill, and CHS named Horizon Milling, and its possible impact on Kansas wheat farmers. Then we'll meet Gary and Linda Foster, named as one of the 6 Master Farm homemakers by K-State Research and Extension. And finally, Cindy Campbell visits with a meat specialist who discusses the definition of beef quality most important to producers today. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Justin, thanks for joining us this morning. Big news, recent announcement coming out of the milling industry. Tell us about that.
Well, just recently there was an announcement of a joint venture between Conagra Mills, CHS, and Horizon Milling, a part of a division of Cargill for their flour milling division, that they were going to join a joint venture between those companies to form one milling and flour company. It's probably one of the biggest announcements we've had on the milling industry side of things for wheat milling in the U.S. In my recent memory. I think from a farmer's perspective, we're still talking with our leadership and trying to digest exactly what that's going to ultimately mean for farmers and for the wheat industry. I think one of the reasons why they would do a venture like that is, you got some of the largest milling capacities that are going to come together under one umbrella for their wheat procurement and flour sales. And so initially, I'm a little hesitant because I think that, in my mind, that lessens competition for farmers that are selling wheat, because there's going to be less buyers. And it's going to be one bigger buyer rather than having multiple buyers. So from a competitiveness issue, that's it's a little bit concerning. So we're interested in seeing how that plays out. They're all really strong, good companies that have done really good things in the industry, and so I'm sure that they're going to continue to have strong businesses. But when you have a joint venture like that, I think that inevitably there's probably some divesting that happens with capacity, and so we'll be doing our best to learn out to see if there's any impacts to Kansas or our region with facilities. Horizon Milling has a big presence in Wichita, Kansas. Conagra sources a lot of wheat throughout Kansas, and Conagra sources also a lot of wheat throughout Kansas. All good, strong companies, and so we're going to be watching diligently to see how it all plays out and ultimately how it's going to impact farmers.
Well, someone who's not a farmer who's watching the show right now may think that a farmer can sell it for whatever the price is going for. Is that the case, or are they kind of tied into certain grain elevators that are close to them?
Well, how the wheat marketing system works is we have the Kansas City Board of Trade futures market for hard red winter wheat. So there is a price every day that if somebody wants to come in and price wheat or sell flour or price flour, we have a futures market and they can price it at any time during the year. So that there is that mechanism. But there's also basis, and basis is, so when I think of futures as being wheat futures, wheat contracts, commodity markets that get reported on every day. Those are respective of global supply and demand events. When I think of basis is the plus or minus the cash price with added onto the futures. Basis is represented by localized supply and demand. So even if futures are at $7, if the 5 flour mills within the state of Kansas are not real interested in buying wheat that day, the basis may be weaker. And so it may only be, it may be less than $7 depending on what but if they had a multiple competitiveness where they can, where that basis is stronger and they're all going for that wheat, it could raise the basis level and raise that cash price. And so ultimately, having less buyers for wheat will impact that localized supply and demand, and that's what we're going to be trying to watch as a farm organization.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Stop by or visit us at sftmeats.com.
Upon graduating from Kansas State University in 1977, Gary and Linda Foster returned to the dairy farm near Fort Scott that Linda's family had operated for several decades. And now, with son David and his family in the mix, the Foster family dairy motors ahead. Even before meeting Gary, this was Linda's game plan all along. She received her K-State degree in dairy management. While also raised on a farm north of Topeka, Gary earned his degree in something other than agriculture, mechanical engineering. Gary, first of all, you grew up actually in northeast Kansas before eventually settling in the southeast part of the state, correct?
Yes, Hoyt, Kansas.
What was the background there? You grew up on a farm, presumably.
Yeah. Dad had a full-time job off the farm, but we had a small farm. Did a big garden, some beef cows, milked 2 or 3 cows by hand.
And Linda, you did grow up in southeast Kansas in the very area where you now reside, right?
Yeah, I grew up here on the same farm. My dad had a full-time job on the railroad, and my uncle milked cows, and my grandfather was right across the road, and Grandma. And so it was just a 3-way partnership and worked real well.
Now, you two got together while attending Kansas State University, is that correct?
Yes.
He was literally the boy next door in the apartment complex.
Might note here, Gary, actually you achieved a degree in mechanical engineering while at Kansas State, correct?
Yes, that's right.
What were your career intentions at that point? Apparently you weren't going to go back to the farm right away.
No, the opportunity wasn't there for me, any kind of farming program at home. So I pursued a degree in mechanical engineering, and I enjoyed that. But we met, and I had the opportunity to come back and become a full-time dairyman.
And Linda, in fact, your degree was in dairy production.
Yes.
At Kansas State. So you were thinking of coming back regardless, or?
I went to junior college first at Fort Scott, and I have lots of different interests. I didn't know whether I wanted to major in mathematics, music, or dairy. And while I was in junior college, we didn't have an ag program at Fort Scott at that time. Towards the end of junior college, my grandfather passed away. And when my grandfather passed away, my uncle, who had been milking the cows, really wasn't happy with the situation and didn't like milking. I had 3 younger brothers, but 2 of them were old enough to, at that time, weren't real interested either. And so I was the oldest in my family, and I really liked the dairy, and I thought, well, here's an opportunity.
And then Gary joined you, of course, and here you were, and then you took over full time at some point, the both of you, right?
Yeah, we came back in December of '77. We graduated then, and the first heifer calved in January, and by April we had gone through about 100 first calf heifers in the old stanchion barn.
Describe the operation present day. As far as the dairy itself, how many cows?
Well, normally we run around 150 head, milking and dry. But we had some neighbors have an unfortunate accident with their milk barn catching on fire there in towards the end of January, and they milked 350 head. And when you get a call at 2 in the morning that we need a place to come with some cows, we opened our doors, and so we've still got, what, about 43 or 4 of them.
Yeah, still milking about 177.
Yeah.
The physical changes with the dairy operation over the years. You're currently using what kind of system?
We have a double 6 herringbone, which is what we've been milking in since
79.
79,
January
yeah.
of 79, yeah.
The milk barn itself has not changed a whole lot. We've changed detachers, a few things in the barn, but for the most part it's still the same barn. Put up a new freestall barn in '07.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Kansas Pork Association, assisting producers and informing consumers.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
I'm Dennis Tebow. My wife and I, Kathy, are the owners of Wolf Creek Cattle Company. We have grown to approximately 70 bulls.
I'm Reese Arnold. I'm the livestock manager at Wolf Creek Cattle Company. You know, these are not just like normal cattle. These cattle, they're hauled anywhere from, 8 to 10 hours a day across the United States and asked to perform. The Multi-Man 90 keeps them kind of level. It maintains and balances their system. The stress level's less when, when everything's right and working right, then they're working right.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
As you've gone along over the years, have you tried to set higher goals in productivity by way of the rolling herd average and what have you? Or have you gauged progression and success?
Well, with the cow end, yes, more production per cow. I remember when we started, we're on the official Dairy Herd Improvement Association test, where they come out once a month with meters and weigh the milk at a night and a morning milking. And you get a lot of this information, and it gets put into a computer program that we use. And but we I had a 16,000 pound rolling herd average, and we're currently up to a 23,000 pound rolling herd average. And, our breeding program's improved with artificial insemination and better heat detection methods. We always try to stay current on new procedures or new technologies coming out. We'll attend extension programs.
Let's shift a bit here and talk about your advocacy for agriculture, if you will. For one thing, you have been very good over the years about opening up your farm to the public, school children, and other audiences to show them what dairying is all about, right?
Yeah, we started giving dairy tours. I had a neighbor that was a school teacher, and she wanted to know if she could bring her class out. And we'd just been milking a year or two and thought, well, that was great. And so she brought her first grade class out, and we just started using that same first grade class every year.
You've both also been leaders in various ways, Farm Bureau, locally with the Fair Board, among them, but most assuredly within the confines of the dairy industry itself, Dairy Farmers of America, and as you mentioned, Linda, members of DHIA. Very important that you step forward, the both of you, to help this industry along from your perspective?
Well, we've always thought that being active in the different organizations that affect your business is just as important as the day-to-day chores.
You also have been recognized for your efforts as well. Back in 2002, the Kansas Distinguished Dairy Family, and most recently, Linda, you were recognized as a Kansas Dairy Leader of the Year, which is a rarity of sorts. You might explain.
It's called the Kansas Distinguished Dairy Leader of the Year, and it's part of that award is you get your picture hung in Call Hall. And Call Hall at K-State is where the dairy bar is, of course, but it's also where I had a lot of classes going to school. And to think that I'm going to get to have my picture in Call Hall, which I always looked up to the other leaders in there, was quite shocking to me and surprising, and quite the honor. I'm very humbled and honored by it.
And let's visit about the boys, if we might, and what they're doing now. David is, in fact, along with his family, involved in the operation directly then, correct?
He does most of the cow feeding. We chop hay for the alfalfa ration. We've got a truck and end dump trailer. He hauls all of our grain, some of our commodities, and of course he helps with all the haying and the crops. And of course he helps milk too.
He and his wife Addie came back around 2005, I think it was.
Full time.
Yeah, full time. Now we have 3 lovely granddaughters. That one's soon to turn 6, the other one just turned 4, and the little one will be 2 in April.
And son Adam isn't all that far away from the farm geographically, although he's an entirely different line of work, right?
Yes, he taught BOAG for 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Applying for a job at the power plant. He started at Lacine, and then they were starting a second unit up at I-10 up north of Kansas City, and so they needed somebody there. So he's got a lot of responsibility and a lot of things to be responsible for.
It's important to the both of you that there is, though, a generation that's going to likely someday full-time take over the operation.
Yes, we hope so.
Yeah, we are really proud of the fact that both that David came back to the farm and wanted to come back.
Last thing, when you became aware that you were named Master Farmer, Master Farm Homemaker, what was your thought, and what does this recognition rather signify to you?
Well, we were kind of surprised.
Kind of surprised, very, very honored.
Yeah.
We, thought there was a lot of other very worthy people, so we were surprised.
It's well deserved, and congratulations to the both of you.
Thank you.
Gary and Linda Foster of Bourbon County, Kansas Master Farmer, Master Farm Homemaker, class of 2012.
In the last 3 years, we've changed some things in our AI protocol, one of which was the use of multi-min. we've seen a significant increase in our AI pregnancy rate. The cost of an embryo program is significant, and we feel that if we were able to even get one more pregnancy out of a cow, that would pay for the whole cost of the whole bottle of Multi-Min right there.
Roy Fry Western Lifestyles brings the cowboy or cowgirl out in all of us. With a huge selection of must-have items, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for your horse, picking up some Western accessories to add that rustic charm to your home, or simply treating yourself. The knowledge and expertise to dress you your Western best is right here at Roy Fry Western Lifestyles, Highway 24 and Kansas Avenue in Topeka.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas, or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Nobody gives you more ways to play and more reasons to stay than Prairie Band Casino and Resort. 3 great restaurants, Players Club benefits, plus an award-winning golf course. Go for it. You'll find something new and exciting every day, just north of Topeka off Highway 75.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it!
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Stop by or visit us at sftmeats.com.
We always have this question, is quality to you, quality to me? It always has a different meaning and things like that. From a meat science perspective, we normally think about quality being quality grades, such as, what % prime and choice.
It doesn't really matter how cattlemen define quality, says Texas A&M University meat scientist Jeff Saville. What matters is how beef consumers define it, enjoy it, and come back to purchase more.
We always talk about palatability being flavor, juiciness, and tenderness. And I spent my whole career in the tenderness area of looking at how we can increase tenderness, but sometimes we forget that flavor is that big driver too.
In fact, the 2011 beef quality audit found that flavor is the #1 driver of quality, since most beef is tender, but marbling plays a key role.
Well, without question, marbling plays a great role in both tenderness and flavor of that. And I think if you look at the work, that it's a pretty good proxy for delivering good eating satisfaction and things like that, especially as we go across, major grades, and you start going from the high end, prime, down to the top choice, slow choice, and select, and down even to the standard grade.
Those lower grading categories, devoid of marbling, have a harder time meeting consumer demand. Just knowing that should help cattlemen move closer to their ultimate customer, despite the distance between farm and fork.
There tends to be this disconnect sometimes from the cattle producer all the way to the consumer, because there's so many hands that transfer in that. But you have to think about everything that you do as a cattle producer to make sure that the product is going to be the best that it can be by the time it gets to the consumer. The consumer wants good eating quality, but they also want to make sure it's safe and it's been raised appropriately and things like that.
He says every ranch level decision plays a role. Producers can either reap the rewards or miss out.
So I think you're starting to see some things where the market signals are becoming clearer, and I think then it's up to the cattle producers to determine how they want to respond to them.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Thanks for joining us today. Look for us every weekday morning at this same time. Now, to see these stories again, go to agaminkansas.com 24/7. Eric Atkinson here from K-State Research and Extension.